homesteading to prepping to common horse sense, we are College Hill Farm. Welcome back to College Hill Farm. Well, today it's time to do some planting. Last night I went out and plowed up a large section of the garden. This is second or third plowing, so all the weeds are killed out. But this video is about our Earthway planter and how to use an Earthway planter. Because a lot of the videos coming up are going to show me using that Earthway planter. I thought I would do a little video on how it's operated. Okay, right here is my Earthway planter. Now, I've used this planter now for about 9 years. It's been a great tool on the homestead. It was a tool for us before we moved here on our previous place. We didn't have nearly the size garden we have here, but we had a good sized garden. But my Earthway planter turns what would take you hours and hours to do into a few minutes. It drops seeds very quickly. I'm going to bring you a little closer so that we can look at how to use it. Now, here's the planter, and what it has this nice little thing right here that cuts through the dirt and makes a row, and the stuff falls down this chute and into here, and then this drags along behind it and covers the seeds. But as this opens a row, this drags along behind it. Now this is adjustable up and down, but I have found a 1/2 inch is about perfect for about everything that I plant with this. Now, how does it work? Well, if you'll notice, right here's a hole. Now, at that point, the seed, there's no seed in there. But there's a hole just like that right here. And as it comes up to that hole, the seed falls into this little bin and falls down and then down into that chute. And then it's put in the ground and covered up. And there are little things on there. I'll get to that in just a second. Now, right here is a wheel that turns. And as that wheel turns, okay, every rotation of this big wheel makes one rotation here. So this wheel is 3 feet in circumference, 36 inches. If you took a tape measure and measured it, this would be 36 inches, or in other words, 3 feet. So then the seed plate that's in here has holes in it. And here's an example of one that I'm going to use here in a minute. This is a sweet corn plate. You'll notice that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes. Well, in 3 feet, this is going to drop 5 seeds. Well, 36 inches divided by 5, what does that come up to? 7, right at 7 inches. Every 7 inches, it's going to drop a kernel of corn. Every now and then, it gets a hold of 2 of them. 2 will get hung in there and they'll both drop. And then every now and then, 2 will get hung in there, or 3, and won't none drop. So every now and then it skips a spot, which that's okay, because when I'm planting this, I'm going to also plant its 2 other sisters, beans and squash. But that's a corn plate, a sweet corn plate. I can't use this with hickory cane corn. The seeds are too big. With hickory cane corn, I have to use this plate. Now, this plate comes, when you buy the planter, this plate comes with it, along with 4 or 5 others. But this plate you have to buy separate. This is a lima bean plate, but I found it works out just great for planting that big old hickory cane corn. You know, hickory cane corn grows about 10 feet tall, so it needs plenty of room, which works out, that's 1 kernel of corn every foot. 3 of them, 3 feet, 1 kernel of corn every foot, which is just perfect for hickory cane. But now, if I tried to use this with sweet corn, it would put 5 or 6, see how big these holes are, and how big the sweet corn holes are? It would put 5 or 6 kernels of corn every foot down that row. And it would waste a lot of corn. Well, this won't waste it like that. Now, there are other seed plates. This one comes with it. This is a carrot seed plate. But I'll just tell you, I've never used this for carrot seeds. The reason being is it would take so many carrot seeds that just to fill the hopper. This hopper is good size if you look at it. That's a pretty good size little hopper. Let me bend it over there where you can see down in it. See how big that is? I can stick my whole hand down in there. Imagine how many seeds it would take to do these carrot seeds. I'd have to have a pound of carrot seeds in order to use that plate to plant carrots. And nobody buys a pound of carrot seeds unless you're a great big farm. Then this one is a radish seed. It would also plant things like parsnips and beets. Well, might not do beets. Beets sometimes are a great big old seed. But the truth is, again, just like with carrots, you'd have to have so many seeds in the planter. The small farm's not going to do that. But it comes with it when you buy the thing. These are about $100. This plate I bought separate. It doesn't come with the planter. You'll notice the difference. Different colors. This one I bought separate. I thought I'd use it to plant okra. But when I plant my okra, I found a way that works better for me. Again, you'd have to have so many seeds, and it plants them heavy. If you look at the size of these holes, it would do good for beets, but the okra, you'd have 5 or 6 okra seeds in that every time you went to plant. But then we got a bean seeder. This is for the small beans, like our 6-week beans that we plant. I'm going to be planting something called tenderette. You can watch for that video. This is for planting beans and peas. And if you'll look, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11. It's got 11 holes. So every 3 inches, or 3.2 inches or 3.1 inches or something like that, it's going to drop a seed. So this is going to put a seed in every 3 inches, which is just perfect for bunch beans and peas. Now, I've got a plate in here, right there. So what you want to do to get the plate out is you hold on to your thing right here so that it can't turn, and you turn that plate backwards. Come on out of there. There we go. And then the plate just comes off. Now the plate I've got in here is a pea plate. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13. There are 13 in this pea plate. So 13, these will be closer than 2 inches apiece. This does good for bunch beans too. Okay? But generally, this is for like your early June peas that you want to get planted. Now I'm going to put in the corn plate, and we're going to talk about that. Here's my corn plate. Of course, you saw it a minute ago. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's going to plant about every 7 inches. And you'll notice that it has these grooves in it. Now, what if I wanted to use this plate but didn't want, let's say this plate. What if I wanted to use this plate and without doing all these peas? What if I wanted to plant peas, but I wanted them to be farther apart? Well, all you have to do is cut you some little squares of tape and tape off every other hole. If you do that, that cuts this 13 pea plate down to 6 or 7 pea plate. You see where I'm going? So that would make it so that this would plant 6 or 7 in that 3 feet, let's say 7, and that would mean that they would be 5 inches apart. Okay, you could space them based on that by just putting a piece of tape, and I keep black electric tape for that purpose. I keep black electric tape in the back of the E-Z-Go for doing just that. It's getting kind of dirty. It's getting kind of crinkly too. It might not hold good if I had to do it, but I'm not doing any with that tape today. I've got a bucket that I keep in my E-Z-Go, just a little plastic bowl, and it holds all my plates and a tape measure and just different stuff that I use all the time. Now I'm going to install this corn plate because that's what I'm going to plant this morning. And you can watch a video. We're going to plant candy corn, but I'm going to do a video separate for it. This is just about the Earthway planter. Now the way this installs, if you look down in there, okay, there's this thing right here that turns. See it there? That turns, and it's got little grooves that match up with the little grooves on this. You just put that plate on and then turn it. I've got to hold it from the bottom so that can't turn, and then turn it backwards, and that locks the plate in place. Now when the wheel turns, that plate turns, and as it goes down, this is going down as these are coming up. Right here's the little hole. Right there is the little hole that drops into the chute. And as the corn kernel comes up to there, it just drops it, and then it moves on to the next one, and then it drops the next one, and so on, and it just keeps picking that corn up out of here. Okay, that's the Earthway planter. Now, when it goes in the garden, and I'm going to show you that, I'll give you a little stretch of video about that, but depending on how you plant. Now corn is one of those things, you know, if you follow the channel, that I plant wide rows so I can till with my tractor as much as possible. But sometimes that's just not possible. We plant candy corn and hickory king corn. Of course, the hickory king's for white cornmeal and for the chickens. But we plant corn, and I've found that in a wide row, candy corn, it's 4.5, almost 5 feet apart. If we do them 5 feet apart so that I can till down through there with my tractor, there are a lot of skips in the kernels. They don't get pollinated as well. The way corn pollinates is the tassels. It rains down on them, on the silks, and that makes the kernels. Well, the wind is what pollinates them. Bees don't pollinate them, bugs don't pollinate them. The wind pollinates them. As the tassels move, it falls down on them. But if the wind's blowing, and this one's up here, and it's going to fertilize the next row, right? So if it blows, if it's got enough time to fall, half of your stuff is below this next row of corn. So I found that you have to plant your corn closer together than those 5 foot, 5.5 foot rows. So I can't plant my corn in those wide rows and get a good yield. So your Earthway planter has a fix for that. Right here is a little thing, and that just lays down in the row, and as you push the planter down through here, it marks where the next row should be. And you make this row, and you can adjust this in or out. Okay, you can make your rows as wide or as narrow as you want. Okay, it adjusts. But if I do that, and I go from the center of the rod out here, that would be a 26-inch row. Does that make sense? But now my tiller is 18 inches wide. My hand rototiller is 18 inches wide. So a 26-inch row is going to be a little tight. So what I want to do is pull this out here so that I'm as close to a 30-inch row as I can get. This is almost to the end. I don't take it all the way to the end. It doesn't hold on good. So if I measure that, that gives me a 29-inch row, 30 inches to the outside. So that is close enough for the corn to do good, and close enough, far enough apart for me to get my tiller down through. You can go down through there and drop corn by hand. As growing up, Pa and Ma and Dad and Mom, they never had an Earthway planter. Now, Pa had a big old corn drill that we drilled the field corn with off of his IH-140 tractor, but we didn't have this Earthway planter for planting sweet corn, because you didn't use that field drill for putting in sweet corn, because when you planted with a field drill, you used herbicide. But he took, and we would take the corn, and you'd go down the row, and somebody would be going in front, and they'd drop 3 seeds of corn, and then about a foot later, you drop 3 more seeds, and then a foot later, 3 more seeds. Somebody then would come behind them and drop 3 bean seeds, and then 3 bean seeds, and 3 bean seeds. And then somebody would come behind them with a hoe and cover them. Obviously, when there's one person, that would take hours. I'm going to plant about 600 feet of corn today. The Earthway planter won't let it take nowhere near that amount of time. And I'll show you the video of that here in just a second. Now, if you like this kind of stuff, this homesteading, this do-it-yourself kind of thing, be certain to come on out to the channel and subscribe. We do this homesteading stuff every week, sometimes 1, sometimes 5 videos. Just depends on what's going on in the homestead. If you get to the channel, you can hit the little bell right there, and it will notify you when we upload a video. We upload every Sunday. And now, with that being said, it's time for me to get on to the next thing.